Don't forget to mute. I think you're muted when you come in, but if you, by any chance, have a problem, it's down in the left corner. You can mute down there. And of course, if you needed to talk to me because you couldn't hear me or you couldn't see me, as long as it's my problem, then unmute and talk to me. You know about finding the perfect seat? Like you have to wiggle around and, right? So get comfortable, wiggle around. And as a couple more of you are coming in and you're deciding to settle down and get in front of the screen again, together. It's very different in yoga practice this way than it is in a class, I know. I mean, you know, when we're together, but I'm sure that some of you are noticing that it's not all bad. In fact, it might be quite interesting. I've found teaching this way to be different. For one thing, you can see me better. You know, some of you would be in the front row and you could see me, but because I knew a lot of people wouldn't be able to see me, I often didn't show you things that really needed to be seen, like the tensegritous shape of a cell. So in terms of microcosm and macrocosm in the body and universally, it's postulated by by scientists who refer to it as biotensegrity, that all of the structures in our body are tensegritous structures. So what that means is that none of the structures within us are these up and down pillar style structures that form the building that you're in, where the forces drop straight down, right? In a tensegritous structure, if weight comes onto the structure anywhere, it gives rather than crumbles, right? So it's like the geodesic domes of Buckminster Fuller, and it's the sculptures of Stephen Snell. And the idea, if you look at this quite carefully, you'll see that there are struts and there are elastic bands. And you'll also see that the shapes are triangulated, right? They're not square. If you push on the sides of a building, this up and down cubes type building, If you push on the sides of a building, the space inside will get smaller. If you pull on the sides of the building, it'll fall down. But if you pull on the sides of the building, it'll collapse. If you pull on a tensegritous structure, its inner space actually expands evenly in all directions. And if you condense into it, the inner space condenses evenly in all directions. So at no time in a tensegritous structure will a pressure coming onto it collapse the structure. But what it will do is it will make it move. So in the body, there's cells. These are cells. And when the touch of the other cell comes into it, the options for movement are nearly infinite because of this tensegritous shape. So what we end up having is we have these cells rolling around, like if you think blood, rolling around on one another in relationship, yielding into one another, because this is a yielding structure, yielding and expanding and condensing, right, as they rhythmically support the whole body. But there's a little more. And the little more is that these struts, these strong, firm things in a cell are the microtubules and actually mostly the microfibers. And they don't touch one another. So in your body, the bones, if we go quickly to the macrocosm from the cell, you see that your bones, you got to pay attention to this part, your bones don't touch. Your bones are integrated to one another to make this whole via an elastic weave, right? The bones are the strongest struts. And the elasticity, of course, is the fascial weave all the way through you. It goes through all the organs and everything, and it holds it together as the denser structures create support. Think about it. Should bones touch? Bones don't touch. They're suspended one from the other with this beautiful space in the center of the synovial fluid, right? I'm talking about the big joints, the synovial fluid. And as we overuse our joints in repetitive kinds of motions, especially things like exercise or yoga asana done repetitively in the same way, exercise where it's like, this is not exactly a natural movement, bum, 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 right? But kind of natural things like watch your body when you vacuum the house. I'm not talking about the big one you push like this, but the one, you know, that's down the canister and you're like this and you're turning around, and like that kind of movement, which is always different, is healthy. So in yoga, we want to take different movements all the time. Also, one thing I wanted to show you, and was really actually the first thing and the only thing I wanted to show you about this, is that how much space there is in this structure, right? It's got shape, it's got containment, but at its deepest level, it's space, right? So when we talk about feeling space in the body, it's not like an imaginary kind of that'll help you feel good. It's for real. You go into a cell, what do you find more than anything else is vast, just like intergalactic space. Things spinning away from one another, crazy in there, and yet organized. Just one more thing, then we begin. So when we talk about the slinky and we use this empty tube, right? The slinky yogically is empty, that's Sushumna Nadi, but then structure comes in and that's the human form. So there's the structure within the empty. And what makes a difference is where you put your attention. You can put your attention on the empty, that's the element of space. And equally valid, you can put your attention on the level of bone and density and anything in between, right? So that's what, if you are a child of the 60s like me, we used to talk about expanding consciousness. Well, in a way it's expanding, yes, and it's also going in and out. All right, so settle in, be comfortable. And if you like, allow your eyes to close. Imagine, notice, feel your whole body. You can do this. I sometimes look to see who's in the class ahead of time so that I know you can do this. Cellular respiration, the expanding and condensing of the beauty of the structure moving in the space, which carries the intelligence to make the whole thing. We practice to remind, to learn. We practice to remind, oh yeah, that's who I am. Without any need to say, I better get better so I can notice who I am. Forget it. Expanding, open your fingers, open your arms, come into what would be, okay, now listen to me. That's not it. It just doesn't work. You got to pay attention. That would be something. But if we're expanding to open, it's going to feel everywhere. I didn't see anybody, by the way. I just know. As you're exhaling, oh, pull it back and touch, yield, oh, touch. That's structure to structure to structure. And then here comes the space, opening from the center, expand, open. And exhale, pull it back, feel what you're doing. So maybe you ripple through your torso a little bit, even if it's arbitrary. You don't have to wait. You can explore what might move. What if something like the dancing Shiva image, that dancing Shiva image is just catching the form of Shiva coming into form, coming into structure. It just catches it in a one moment. But of course we know it's even called a dance, so. Now, what can you do with this and your breath? This is what we do in asana, right? We play with it. Expand. Condense. Expand, reach up, right? So go on up if you like. You don't need to. You can stay with something you're doing. It's fine. Reach up. Feel your fingers. You can't see mine, but feel your fingers, your palms. Imagine, notice, feel how your palms are, it's a series of bones and none of them touch. They're waving in a fluid environment. Now pull down and twist. With an exhale, just pull down, spinning. So at this level right now, I'm not going to go very far, but that doesn't mean you can't. You could be moving much bigger than me. And I'm bringing in an ujjayi because that's the breath of the liquid body. And your cell is a liquid environment. And the environment within which it swims is liquid. Now yield into the earth. That's your earth. Inhale, reach up and come around. Don't worry about it, right? Don't worry about it. Just let yourself move anyway. You cannot possibly do this wrong. Inhale. And the other way. Ujjayi. Now back to front, and extend your legs straight out in front of you. So this just adds a little bit of the developmental nervous system to what we're doing. So you're going to keep one leg extended. Just watch. You can watch. If you already know, you know. And the one side body, this side body is extending, and this side body is drawing back. And I'm going to say that's an inhale. And as you exhale, you come back out. You could do it quite clean, like a yoga posture if you want to. You can inhale and come back right through the joints, whatever you want. It's fine with me. And exhale. I'm going to do it as a more fluid side body, and I'm going to inhale and draw it way back. And exhale, collect it back in. You feel the idea? The one side body is flexing and the other side body is extending. And you know, you'll notice, whoa, I wonder if this is how someone one day way back when thought Janushirasana, right? All right. Now, that's terrific. Now, bring one side around so you can take your right side back and pull it back into you. Now take it back out from there and feel that your whole, your right side body is moving as you do this. So every cell does this little kind of rippling. Good. And then turn toward the extended leg. Ujjayi. One of the tricks in a seated forward bend is to keep the fluidity of the breath in the pelvis, because the tendency is to shear right there. So you keep the continuity there. Come back to front. Inhale, reach out and up. Then make a little elongating extra space in the vertebral column by reaching your fingers away, your coccyx into the earth like a brand new sprout from an acorn, getting down in the earth. As the pelvic floor rises, the upward growth. Inhale, exhale, out and over. I'm not going far. I'm not, you can, but don't hinge at the hip. You want to keep that, there's a little bit of a round here, right? The continuity. Ujjayi, looking for the expanding, condensing. First of all, you can feel it in your lungs. Then you'll begin to feel it in your navel tissues. And then you creep on out to the rest of your body and you feel, wow, even in these tissues that feel so dense, they're alive, they're doing this. Maybe it's slower, maybe it's hard to find. And as you're inhaling, come out, reach up, big reach. And exhale, take your arms down, both legs out, and hands behind you, lean back and slide the slinky right up the front of your spine. Slinky is yogic core, embodied sushumna, the encoded feminine aspect of radiance. Whereas the encoded masculine aspect of radiance is in the vertebral column. That's the Kundalini experience. The one in the core is encoded feminine. Come back up. You can ask me questions later if you want. All right, let's do the other side. So there's this reach, and then there's a pull. And out. And pull. And Ujjayi. Good. Now turn. See if you can get the breath to slide through the back pelvic wall all the way through to the leg. Seamlessly. We talk about the organ and the marrow continuity there a lot, but there's more. There's the fascial slide, and that too remains continuous. So that's fluid, right? Blood also. Blood is connective tissue. Blood, lymph. Now, inhale, turn. Exhale. Inhale, reach up. Exhale. Only as far as feels, yeah, I can actually stay whole in this. As if perhaps I was just one big moving cell with these struts of bone and this ripply tissue and the organelles, the intelligence inside of the cells speaking and relating and All right, and then push into the earth. Inhale, rise up. Exhale. Arms behind you, and you arc up and back again. And lengthen, vertebral column goes down. The slinky rises. See if you can feel the front of your vertebral column slide up. That's the connective tissue along it. It slides up, and the coccyx, the bone, the gland under the bone releases down. And come back around. Reach up, inhale, and breathe. So I've interlaced, which just brings my arms a little more effortlessly close to one another. Ujjayi. Good, and pull down. Take your time, come around into hands and knees. Yield down through your arms and find the connectivity of the touch into the earth with the earth received back. Perhaps you feel the slidey and the glidey of the membranous body. Perhaps you also feel the heft and the pour of the earth, water, fire of you. Deep belly tones up into the back body, and it draws the pelvic floor up into you. Extend your right leg back, straighten the leg, toes under. Extend your left leg back, straighten the leg, toes under, plank. Use the strength. So when it feels like the muscle needs to come in, go deeper. Go to the marrow. Go to the marrow. Connect the marrow through to your core via the organ. When you continue to yield the pelvic belly and the mid belly up into the back body, check in. It's not fair to harden. That's not helpful. Yes, it'll make your muscles tighter, tighter, stronger, whatever, tighter, not more resilient. And then melt knees down, come back onto your forelegs, bring your hands onto your back with your palms facing upward, forehead to or toward the floor, and then push into the earth and open up from the underneath. You're coming to kneel standing. Open up from the underneath support like an umbrella lifting into the back body. Come all the way up. You won't be able to see my arms, but I'm reaching all the way up. Full breath. As you're here, rest your heart right down into the breathing diaphragm and into your back body, and allow your lungs to support through your arms to your hands. Inhale, ready to move. And as you're exhaling, pull down around. Again, feel the support, that umbrella under you. It's the back body wall, and then push into the earth. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, pull it down. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, pull it down. Long breath, right? You're cultivating the length and the depth of the ujjayi. When I say deep breath, actually it means cellular, right? So the beauty of ujjayi is that sound takes you right into the fluid body and the cells. So it's really, really awesome. Exhale, you pull down. Perfect. Now this time, slide your arms out in front of you. Look at what you're touching, the earth under you. Turn your toes under, inhale, and this time exhale all the way into downward dog. And draw your legs back and lift your toes up and widen them out. Keep deep breathing. Now we've only done this a few times, and I don't even know in which classes, but you come up a little bit and you bring your right foreleg to the floor and your knee up towards your wrist. So it's like a pigeon, but it's not a pigeon. And then you can take the back knee down if you like, come up on your fingertips, lift out and up, lift out and up through the empty core, right? That's the Sushumna embodied. Couple of breaths. Feel the mid portion of your lung. This posture really directs to the mid portion of the lung. Front and sides, middle chest. All right, hands come down. You'll take the leg up behind you as you come back. Toes turn under, descend down through that back heel. Reach your right leg up, any amount, you're in charge. You could even be coming to hands and knees in child's pose, right? You want to adjust the practice to suit you. That's one of the things hopefully you'll really learn in this, in the quarantine period. And then push forward, plank. Chung, strong. Knees down, point toes away, yield the fronts of the ankles, and child's, leave your arms right where they are. Reach your tail away. Stay connected through the central body, not just the muscles on the surface. Inhale, slide out. And exhale, downward dog. Widen your toes. Push through your back body core. Take your time. Deep ujjayi. Imagine that tensegritous structure, and imagine what if it might be true that each cell has a lot of elements of that structure. It's not that it might be true, it is true. There may be other elements, there may be something incomplete about science looking at this tensegrity. It's likely, but it doesn't mean that it isn't really, really useful. All right, now that left knee's coming up, so you can lay the front of your foot down and then draw it out and touch it all the way to the left wrist. Oh, the toes turn under back there. You can point the foot away or keep the toes under. I'm going to keep them under and slide out. And again, this shape targets the mid portion lung. So this right in here, mid portion. And your arms help. Remember, the fingers are relating to all of that. So you push back up in and you, oh yeah, I can get some force in there. Gentle force. Breathe it. All right, we're going to go back. So place the hands and remember, use your deep back core. You could get back by momentum and rolling around your joints. Don't do it. Bend your arms, bend your elbows, and then push back right through the deep core and then take your left leg up. And then let your head feel the flow of the fluids. The lymph in there, you know, not just blood, there's lymph. Not just cerebrospinal fluid, there's lymph, which is really interesting because lymph is real kind of thick. Cerebrospinal fluid is bright. Lymph is also bright. Inhale, come through plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale through to cobra. Roll the top lung, slide from the xiphoid process all the way through down to the pubis, and exhale back Adho Mukha. So you could be at your chair and you're going to step your right leg up and into a lunge and keep your back knee off of the floor. Keep your fingers on the floor. So if you're, you know, it's so fine to use the chair, guys. Home is such a great place, isn't it? Do you like it? So your right leg stepped up, correct? Yes. High lunge. Very strong. All right. And then yield the knee to the floor. Feel what you're doing as you do it and point the foot away. If you move quickly, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's very difficult to train your awareness into the subtle qualities of your form if you move too quickly, right? So the fingers are rising and the pelvic bones are descending. And there's a light bright in the fingers that is associated with the fluid in the joints. It's a synovial bright light fluid. And then there's a marrow in the pelvis. And here we go. Inhale. As you're exhaling, bring your hands back down to whatever it is you're using. Turn the toes under back there. Straighten and step back to plank. Exhale, knees, chest, and chin, or not. Inhale, slide through, cobra or upward dog. And exhale, all the way back, Adho Mukha. So it's the same thing. Reach your tail away. Feel the dents of your buttock bones, the marrowy dark earth, water, fire down through your legs, the light of the coccyx and the light of your finger joints. And then push forward, step left, inhale. Stay steady, right? So this is a little bit of a strength and determination. High lunge is a hard posture, especially I think some of you did take your arms up, which is fine. It's a challenging posture. And I'd like you to look at it from the perspective of the stability of your legs, right? It's stable. So that's first. Earth, water, fire is first. That's your support. Support precedes action. If you want to go to the light, find the source, not the source, the support. And here we go. Yield the knee down. Point the foot away. Rise up. And here we go. Inhale. Exhale. Toes turn under, straight back leg. Inhale, step to plank. Exhale, your little bit of vinyasa. It could be hands and knees to child's pose. And up. And downward dog, everybody. And walk your feet up to your hands. Look down at your legs, descend the pilings, the deep warm pilings of your legs into their home, the earth. And then as you're inhaling and you slide out, the light of the coccyx and the crown, the dents of the bones, and the belly lifting up into you softly, undulating sea creature in there, and exhale over it. Push into the earth, inhale, rise up. And exhale, Anjali Mudra. Standing in Tadasana, and as you do, catch the image of, what do I do with it? The little one. Catch the image of the spaces inside of you. How could that little toy get so far? Oh, there it is. The little toy, little cells all around, right? So I'm moving big, right? But my body's moving big, but you know that those cells are moving inside microcosm, macrocosm, out from it and out from it. So if you like, when we're steady in Tadasana, for example, we still feel that it's life, you see. Life is movement. If we just think it's life out here, we're caught. We suffer. When we find, oh, but it's so much richness. Because each of those inner movements, each one has a different layer of consciousness. All right, Surya Namaskar, okay? Classical version. I'll show the chair. I know there's some of you who really, it would be useful to work with the chair, so don't lose a great chance. Exhale, Anjali Mudra. Inhale, reach out and up. Now lengthen your breaths. Long exhale, the length of the exhale takes you over, place your hands down. Inhale, drop hips low, head lifts a bit. Exhale, right leg back, yield the knee to the floor, point the foot away. Regular version, so the two arms come up at the same time. Inhale. Exhale, you pull them down and you step into plank. Inhale and exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot steps up. Exhaling, yielding knee down. Inhaling, reaching. And exhale, pull down, push off, step forward. Inhale, wave out. Exhale, pour down. And inhale, rise up. So that's one side. When you're doing these alone at home, you step the right back and you bring the right up. When we do the left side, we step the left back and we bring the left up. Exhale. I'm sure you're saying, but Patty, you screw it up all the time. Inhale, reach out and up. Of course I do. Exhale, pull down. Without inhale. And exhale, left leg back, yield the knee. So it's the same version. Inhale, you reach up. Perfect. As you're exhaling, you come through, and your inhale is plank. Exhale, knees, chest, and chin. Inhale, sweep through. Exhale, push back. And inhale, when you're ready, take your time. Step your left up. Yield the knee down. Point foot away. Rise up, inhaling. And exhaling. And push off. Step forward, inhale. And exhale. Rise up. And exhale down. Surya A. So it's a little more vigorous. Exhale, release arms down, still whole body breath. As you're inhaling, come all the way through, out and up. Now stay here. We'll hold a bar of that, something that's heavy, light, bright, the radiance and the density of life, all right there. You hold it. It connects through your body to the arches of your feet, down into the earth, back up through you, down into the earth. And exhale, over and forward. You're already supported for what is to come. Back belly wall. Inhale, you slide out. And with your exhale, you can step to plank or jump to Chaturanga Dandasana. And then everybody into an upward facing dog. And then everybody back Adho Mukha. And this one is 5 breaths. 1. And 2. 3. 4. Good, and then 5, you finish the breath and you just stay empty, challenge it a little bit, walk or hop your feet to your hands, and then with an inhale, as usual, wave out, belly supporting, soft belly support. Exhale down, it's not your external abs. Inhale, rise up. And exhale down the front. What I actually think that deep belly support is a combination of 2 things. The mesentery back there and the fascia along the back abdominal wall that connects all the way down through your inner legs and all the way up and into your skull, right? So it's most definitely not holding your muscles. You can find this. Anjali. Here we go. As you're inhaling, reach up. Hey, someone's mic is on. Everybody cool your mics. Mute. Go check, because it might be you. You never know. We'll wait. Somebody off the mic. Okay? Anjali. And inhale, reach out and up. It's just A again. Exhale, up, out, and over. Place your hands. Bend your knees, inhale, and exhale. Chaturanga or plank. Your strong pose, doesn't matter which. Inhale and slip forward into upward. And then push, find that slide, something slides. It's got this tensegritous strength to it, just like the model, the fascial weave. It's a tensegritous weave on the whole, and it's a tensegritous weave at its core. All right, exhale all the way to empty, and walk or hop, step down, and pour down, and rise up, and Anjali Mudra, and you release. It's Tadasana, a couple of bright breaths. So it's the same thing. There's tensegrity in this. No, well, it's not it probably is. The phases, the earth, water, fire, air, space of the breath, right? And back. That's the inhale and the exhale. The exhale goes to the space. And here we go, last Surya A. And then the inhale goes all the way into the expression of life. And then the exhale goes all the way to the space, which contains all of the information. Inhale, you're ready. And exhale, plank. Or Chaturanga, inhale upward. And exhale, downward dog. Let's take the full long 5 breaths here. So go right into that as your focus. See if you can feel the differing qualities of sensation and feeling in the phases of the breath. All right, take one last long Ujjayi to empty, and then walk or hop while you're empty. Stay focused. Inhale, wave out. Exhale, yield deeply. And then push into the earth for support. Rise up with all the layers of you and come down, Anjali Mudra. Tadasana. We're going to do Surya Namaskar B. But before we do, let's take Nataraj Asana. So you're going to go down through your left, yielding gnarly roots deeply. So that's very much earth and water and consciousness. Everything's full of consciousness. Earth, water, fire even under there, because the fire is the determination to grow. And then you come up with your Nataraj. You feel the elongating side and the condensing side of your body. The condensing side it's literally condensing, it's squeeze. And the elongate is literally expanding. And then each one has some of each. And that's the way it is. Inhale. As you're exhaling, maybe you pull down into your core and yield down into the earth. Go deep with the right. Let the left become light. Hold it. Reach up. Slide up. Go down. Kick back a little bit. Differentiating the sensation and the feeling and the consciousness of the two sides. All right, and then pull it back. Pull it in. The prep for Utkatasana. Here we go. Inhale. You're going to be in the prep for 5 breaths. Exhale, come down. Find your supports. Find what it is you're doing, the empty core, the connective, the space, the earth, the fluidity, and then the fire of your determination, the wisdom of the air that is receiving fresh information from space all the time. And then exhale, release your arms down. Inhale, Utkatasana. Rise up, peek up. Inhale, ready to move, and exhale, up, out, and over. Uttanasana, forward bend. Place hands, inhale and exhale, plank or chaturanga. Inhale, sweep through upward facing dog. Feel what you're doing. Exhale, push back Adho Mukha and begin to spin your left foot out and step your right foot up between your hands. Yield down, check out what's in front of you, go into the earth and rise to take the challenge Virabhadrasana 1. A little lower, melt down. Good. Inhale, full breath, and exhale your vinyasa. So please go to downward dog. You don't need to do the whole thing. Or chatur, upward and downward. And then everybody spinning the right and stepping the left, going down. Check it out. What needs to be done? Rise up. I don't know about you, but the responsibilities seem huge and daunting. So I just accept that. Ready to act. Inhale. Exhale, pull through, take a vinyasa, which means what? Move in your life. Chaturanga. Inhale, slip it through, and exhale all the way back. 5 recovery breaths. So maybe it's child's pose. Where's your awareness in your body right now? Do you feel more earthy, more hot, more wise, more what? Fluid. Exhale all the way to empty. Forward. Step into the earth. Exhale and pour down. And then Utkatasana. And up you go. And Anjali Mudra. Tadasana, doing nothing. Stay wide in the back skull, widen the jaw joints and under your tongue. Let your lateral body, your peripheral body, pour down through your fingers, your organs, side body, through your legs and into the earth. Core center, simple, empty. So the embodiment of space, which we don't talk about as we talk about doing it, but we don't talk about the consciousness of it, is the place that holds all the information, like all the information. The information of the universe, this is yoga, the information of the universe manifests into the realm of space. So all things are possible. It's one of the yogic statements about space. All things are possible, which in terms of our embodiment, our lives, we have nearly infinite potentiality in space. So instinctively, you know that. We know that there's incredible potentiality of intelligence and capacity inside of us. The question is, why do we miss it? And yoga says, you miss it because you're so busy doing something else. And then often they talk about purifying, right? But purifying doesn't appear to be actually necessary. All you have to do is pay attention. You can go right through all of the so-called impurities of your personality and still feel, oh yeah, that's just an aspect of the potentiality. But what else can I do that I would rather do with all this potentiality? Surya with a little more standing. Exhale down. Now stay here. So this potentiality is up the center. There's potentiality in the wisdom of the heart. Perhaps that's one of the places where we make the right decisions, right? The determination is our belly, and then the heart says, yes, and, yes, and. And exhale, release arms. Inhale, rise up. So there's this heart rising and the earth, water, fire descending. And exhale down the front. Wave out, inhale. Exhale, plank or chaturanga. Inhale, sweep through to upward. And exhale, push back to Adho. Good. Now spin your left foot out and step your right foot up. Yield down well. And inhale, come up into Vira 1. Now, you've been here before. You've assessed the situation. It'll be Vira 2. Pull your hands down from the heavens, from the wisdom, through the space, into the heart. Hold your own personal heart tenderly. Take the challenge, belly rising, inhale, and spin Virabhadrasana 2. You might be sad, but you're ready to act. Go down more, melt. Melt more deeply. Here we go, inhale. As you're exhaling, come around your vinyasa. Step, you could be just downward dog, even child's posture, anything you like. Tadasana, as long as you're in the process of inquiry and moving a little bit, it's enough. Spin your right foot out. Step your left foot up. Who would ever think that these kinds of realization of noticing would be reserved for people who can do vigorous or strong asana? That would not make any sense. Low. Or for people, it's people who don't feel good, people who have illnesses, they have access. They just might get more preoccupied, right? Because they don't feel good. Now, exhale, slide down. And then come up. The action is going to need to happen. Inhale. The action could be, picking up your baby who's crying. The action could be being generous and nice to your partner. Sweep down, melt down a little more. The melting down a little more is the willingness. It's like, yeah, okay, I am actually willing. I'm not going to stand here and try to just wait it out. I'm willing to enter a relationship with what needs to be done. Here we go, inhale, come around it again, and step back, Chatur, sweep, and push, Adho. And all the way forward. Walk or hop, wave out, and Utkatasana. Fingers rise, collect down, stand. You know the term stand at attention, right? This kind of, it would be hard, but what if you stand with attention? Stand in attention. Be attention. And we're going to take the 3 warriors, 1, 2, 3, as a continuous process. I'm going to keep my chair here for Virabhadrasana 3, right? So here we go. You're going to step back, exhale, slide down. So this is a big question, a big steady for you. If you have balance issues, use the chair. You don't have to use it fully. You touch into it. And then yield down through your right. Your left comes up. You're stepping back for Vira 1. So your head comes forward a little bit as the leg goes back, right? And you see, when you're using the chair, you can learn to balance. And then you step and you flatten that foot and you yield down again. And you know the warrior 1 really well at this moment. So you rise again right into it. The responsibility, the recognition of the responsibility, the dharma of yes, I am this person. This is my life and I have action to do, my dharma. Right in line with the planet's dharma, the best I can do. Slide down the front, Anjali Mudra, hold your own heart tenderly, hovering right over your own pit of belly strength. Come around, inhale, and plant down well again, exhale. All right, and the action needs to happen. It's a step, it's a shooting of the arrow, right? It's a moment of absolute commitment coming into action. And you come forward, you push off toward that front leg and extend your arms out and your back leg up and you're the arrow. Breathe it. Sail through the air. You sail through it. Pit of belly, don't forget. And then inhale, begin to draw your leg and your arms into you. And exhale, standing, Utkatasana. Inhale, push down, rise up. And Anjali. Going nowhere, doing nothing. Simply attentive. Attention now. Not attention about what's going to happen. Not attention onto what happened. Attention now. Here we go. Exhale, slide down. I'm already going deeper and deeper and deeper through my left. I'm going to step back a little. I was too close. Deeper and deeper through my left. Hands to floor, the chair, so I can find a deeper balance and then thread it back. Find the ground, get low, take your time. You've got to be with these aspects of consciousness to Bring them into recognition, attention. It seems to be for real. All right, exhale down. Commitment, love, commitment, pit, love, heart. Up and around, inhale, opening back heart, right? We know that to be a little bit vulnerable, but whoa, how strong you are planted on the earth. All right, ready to act, full responsibility for one's action, and yet nothing. Push off, step forward, and there are three. You're the arrow. All right, one more breath. And collect it down, back, and Utkatasana, and rise, and release. Padangusthasana, your hands will come to your hips and your heel toe apart. In a moment, you're going to be taking your big toes. Again, this can be done on the chair. You could even choose to go a little lower on the rungs of the chair. You could even choose to rest your head if you get down that far. And as you're inhaling, step into the earth deeply and roll your top chest up. Now, don't lose the containment of the back abdominal wall that's sliding up the back, right? And the central containment of the pit of the belly, personal, universal heart, that place of wisdom, rising, top lobe lung, shoulders down and cupping into the top lung to protect, not to protect, but to support the lung in its upward glance here. And then come up and around, coalesce in along the front seam, come out and over, and take your big toes. Step on your first two fingers, wave out, inhale. And exhale, open elbows. All right, you're coming up, bend your knees a little, bring your hands to your thighs. So this is so that you won't just fling up through a hinge in your hips. So you reach your tail away as your legs bend a little bit to keep that open channel through the hip joints. And then inhale the rest of the way up. And stand. Step your feet together. Parshvottanasana, exhale down, yield up, step back. Don't go too far, just a little bit of a Parshva. Reach up, inhale. It's not even the full Parshva, you'll see. The back leg stays bent, and I inhale, and I lean back into what is an extension posture, and what is, as we know, the longitudinal axes of the lungs rolling around and sliding back to rest, to hold your heart. And then you exhale and you come up and around and you let things flex. Quite a bit like what we were doing in the beginning. Inhale, you open. Take a breath. You lean back. Don't push anywhere. Lean back. Slide the slinky up. Let your lungs, big, big lungs back there, let them contain your heart and come up and over. Good. Now bring your hands into your pelvic halves. Yield down through the front leg. Push from the back foot all the way through to your head and step up again. Stand at neutral. So neutral would be neither rolling one way or the other. Dead center. And going down, the left into the earth, the receiving and the stepping. Don't step far. It's just to have a leg back more than anything else. And then you come up. You see, I'm leaning back. I'm not lifting my chest. I'm leaning back and then I'm sliding up. And then, and and back up, over, neutral, pelvic halves, yield down, push off and step, belly up, slide down legs, slide into the earth, receive the slide back up, and you're standing Tadasana. Step your feet apart, bring your hands onto your back, and just slide your arms down, straightening them. Just do it without pushing anything forward, lifting up, a little resilience in the legs so that you don't come up straight. Just resilience. And release. Now you worked a little bit hard, so there is a possibility, especially with your legs apart, that you're dropping down through the center. See if it's true. Might be. So how can you be resting in the center without dropping? So it's this collapse. Prop is to harden. Collapse affects everything. Everything drops and compresses. What's yield? Yield through the periphery. Relationally, receive up through the core. You know it feels better. All right, come on down. Lengthen yourself onto the floor. Yeah, get warm if you have as cool a house as I do. Cover up. Don't cover up yet. Just come into constructive rest. And in constructive rest, practicing, as we do that width between the shoulder blades as you then bring the arms open. So what you'll see is if you see how much you can see when we're here. So my shoulder blades are wide away from one another. And then most often if we open more our arms, they come toward one another, which isn't wrong. But in this one, we keep the shoulder blades wide and we lay the arms out on the floor, it's actually quite hard to get your arms straight on the floor without having the shoulder blade hitch in, right? So what we're doing is we keep it wide, and then we're opening not just the front region of the top chest, we're opening the whole thing, right? So do that. Lay your arms open to the sides. That's great. It takes time, right? It takes time to get them down. And then even then at the last bit, you're gonna cheat a little bit, right? It's okay. You can work with it. One thing that can be nice is you take a sandbag on both sides of the top lungs. So you can't get your own sandbag on. You need 2 sandbags, so you need a friend for that. Now, once your arms are down, don't try to hold anything. Just let them rest. Whatever they do, they slip together, whatever. Let them rest. Let your breath fill all portions of lungs. With your legs bent and your feet on the floor, feel for that continuity of sliding membrane through the inner leg and up into the back abdominal wall, up through the pelvic floor, into the back abdominal wall, up the front of the spine, back abdominal wall, all the way up, and to the jaw. All right, now your feet are under you, you're in constructive rest, and you're just gonna take, you stay down in constructive rest, you're gonna take one leg out to the side like that, and then roll on it and start to pulse that thigh away from you, right? You pulse it away from you. And you can bring that same side arm up, right? Or any other variation on that theme that works for you, where you're lengthening out in this way through the thick and then through the slide. The thick and the slide. Change sides. Good, and then bring them back up and take your legs into Supta Baddha Konasana here. All right, now you're lying on your back, right? I'm sitting up, but you're lying on your back. Only reason I'm sitting up is I'm just afraid I'm gonna make all kinds of noise with my microphone receiver. So I'm sitting up, I'm staying up a bit, but you've got a Supta Baddha Konasana. Now extend your left leg out and draw your right leg up into a happy baby. So you have to pretend I'm on my back. Happy baby. The left leg is extending. That's it. Now, keep holding the foot or your ankle or your shin, whatever it is that you're holding there. Take your left hand onto your left thigh. And without disturbing the yield of the left thigh, just begin to pulse that right happy baby leg into you a bit, And then slowly from there, straightening your leg out just a little or a lot, but not flinging it sideways. Follow the same trajectory as your thigh bone is in happy baby. And then super challenge. Can you stay connected through the inner thigh of the up leg all the way up through the pelvic floor and the back abdominal wall on that side? Good. Now bend the knee back in. When you bring your leg, just bend your knee all the way and draw your knee into your chest. Just do that. Then curl your chest up, reach your fingers toward the front of the room or the bottom of your mat, and with that leg straight, straighten the top leg, exhale, bring it down. You curl up around it, even if you have to use your hands in the back of your head. So you're using the entire muscular fascial wrap of the front body, especially the spine here. And then once you're down, you're down. And when you're down, you learn what is collapse and what is rest and yield. Different. All right, both legs come in again. Happy baby for a moment, both sides. And then release your right leg, extend it out from the deep belly, and take your left up into your happy baby situation. That challenge of the pelvic half unity or continuity with the torso as you begin to open the leg out enough. How do you find the continuity? You go with your sensing, feeling awareness into these deep tissues, the slidey ones, like moist, old silk stockings, sliding up and without folding, coming right up and through. So you're straightening now. Bring your right hand to your thigh. Begin to slowly reach that left leg out. Can you create a situation in the right leg where it doesn't even want to move? Not like you can keep it there. There's no interest. All right. Bring it back in. Draw it into your chest. Extend it straight up. Curl around it. Back abdominal wall tone from the inner thighs, and slowly release. Up to seated, please. Close your eyes if you like. Feel. Soften the diaphragms of the core. Feel them. Allow them to have their own resilience. Go to the pelvic diaphragm. If you know the mesentery, the back abdominal wall, go to that. The thoracic diaphragm. The diaphragm that wraps the heart into the thoracic inlet. the vocal diaphragm, the soft palate, the brain, and crown. Release your tongue wide in your mouth and counting 10 breaths on exhalation from 10 to 0 and then into Shavasana. The breath is slow. Good. Take your time. Bringing yourself up to seated again. Simple seat. Thank you. Namaste. Couple of reminders. The embodied anatomy class, there are two more. One is tomorrow, Friday, 4 p.m. And the second thing is that the pelvic floor workshop is coming on June 6th. It's going to be online, and it's with, it's through Yoga Center Amherst, of course. Pelvic floor workshop, June 6th, 1:30 to 4:30. It's a Saturday. So if you would like to come to that, I hope you will. Sign up ahead if you can, because I just like to know who's there, really. It's no other reason. You could always sign up later, since we don't have to limit attendance. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Patty. Beautiful class. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Patty. Love you.
Love you guys. Love you too.
Thank you, Patty.
Patty, I have exciting news.
What is
Our
it?
grandchild was born.
Who was born?
This
Your
is
grandchild.
My grandchild was born at 2:30 this morning.
Oh, Gretchen.
Yay.
Congratulations. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so great.
Yeah, in New York City.
In New York City.
All right.
All
Yeah.
right. Wow. Right at the heart of the world.
Right
Yeah,
at the heart of the world.
that's going to be some person.
I
Some
know.
strong person.
Right?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Strong little boy.
Yeah.
Aw.
Bravo.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Till
Thank you,
next
Patty.
time.
Thank you so much.
Mwah.